Hey guys, welcome to the Perfectly Wasted podcast. I'm the host, DullOxide. Today is episode 49 on the Pokemon Go event. You can find all my previous episodes on the Drinking Wisemen YouTube channel, along with my bi-weekly podcast, Brew the Truth, which is a little behind. I know my podcasts are a little behind right now. That's actually due to me playing a lot of Diablo. I'm not going to lie. So, you can find all those episodes on the Drinking Wiseman YouTube channel, along with my cosplay photos and day-to-day photos on my Instagram at DullOxide. So if you've watched my previous episodes, you know that I'm kind of into Pokemon Go. I do have my Apple Watch so I can go through and play Pokemon even when I'm trying to look professional or working. So I do play it pretty frequently, probably more frequently than the majority of my friends do. Now that being said, I have to say I was pretty disappointed by this event that they came out with. So, if you don't know, the Pokemon Go Fest, or the Go event that they're having for the 1 year anniversary, is stationed in different cities throughout the world, except for they have different events in some countries also. So, for instance, the first event that was held actually today was the Pokemon Go, I think it was the Chicago Park event. So you were supposed to go to this park and then go through and complete these quests for Niantic and for Pokemon Go, and it would unlock world events potentially for tomorrow for everyone. Now, there's a couple of problems that I have with this. Obviously, a lot of people have a lot of problems with this being only in Chicago. So if they went and they designated maybe a couple major cities throughout every state in the United States, that might have been slightly better than just doing one city in the United States. Possibly. Now, I understand that this is kind of like a big event, but if you're going to go ahead and just, put it in one singular city, then maybe make sure that city can actually cover what you need. So the people at the event were complaining that they couldn't get logged in, basically. They had connectivity issues because there was so much going on inside of one small area, the carriers couldn't even carry signal for them, and the Wi-Fi that they might have had on site just wasn't enough. So the event itself required you to wait in line essentially for 3 hours, which if you didn't get there 3 hours prior to the event starting, you just weren't in there in time to go through and have fun at the event. Now, they did give out like different prizes and things like this, but unfortunately, a lot of people seemed like they were disappointed. Now, I imagine a lot of people did have fun, and the kind of direction / instruction / information on this was really lacking. So here's the thing, is a lot of people didn't understand whether or not being in other cities you could contribute to this actual event. The way that I read the event poster or the event email was that if you were in Chicago in this area, then you could contribute to these quests. And by contributing to these quests, you would unlock extras for everyone else in the world and world event. So there's a few issues with this, as I stated, one of which being it's not exactly clear where the world event comes in. Does it come in after they go through and get the first mission complete? Then can everyone assist with the extra missions? Or is it only the people that are on site? And as I said, the way that I read it, only the people that were inside of the park can contribute to it. So if they can't beat the missions and they can't beat the mystery quest or whatever, which is phase 2, then we get no world event, essentially. So it's all based on the people that are currently there. And since you can't contribute, a lot of people having events throughout the world for the 1 year anniversary right now they're just using their lures and having fun, which, I mean, that's not a problem. Having fun and using your lures is okay, but coinciding it with the Pokemon Go Fest and making it seem like it might have something to do with it just confused a lot of people, in my opinion. So that being the case, I'm not super excited about the future events that are coming up. The world event that's supposed to be tomorrow, which, I mean, realistically, it's probably going to be a legendary release if they actually completed all the quests, or they might just go ahead and give it to us because of all the technical issues that the first launch event had. I'm kind of up in the air about it. I'm not so sure it's going to be as exciting as it seems. Basically, the reason that I'm not sure is because if they can't go through and get the infrastructure for one city down, then the amount of people logging in for legendary events is going to be it's got me kind of skeptical that it's going to be able to support everyone. So I anticipate that there's going to be a lot of problems with the legendary duels or the legendary raids, if you will. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but I'm in for some major disappointment. I'm just prepared for it at this point. The way that all of the different rollouts that they've come out with this have gone, most of them have been disappointments. You know, the initial gym system, the launch of the new gym system, the amount that people could go through and, you know, manipulate different things like the bubble technique and all those different techniques. It just makes it lose a lot, you know. And then you have the bans and the people that are cheating. People are still spoofing addresses, which is probably part of the reason that the Go Fest in Chicago is having so many issues. The game can't handle that many people in one area, more than likely. But again, who knows? I'm not the coder for Niantic. That being said, you know, it is cool that they are doing events, and some of them are going to have worldwide different things going on. The really, really shitty part is that it seemed like they hinted at, if you were in the Chicago area and part of the Go Fest Central in that Chicago park, then there was a chance that you might get harder to find Pokemon, which kind of alludes to maybe regionals. So if you were there, you could have potentially gotten regionals, is the way that a lot of people read that. And if that's the case, then I just feel like really fucked over that they didn't have this spread throughout the entire United States or the entire world. Like, come on, please, just give us the regionals. It's really difficult to get them if you don't have, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go on vacation all the time. And now I understand some people do, and that's cool, but as one of the people that don't, I kind of feel like, you know, I kind of feel let down because all the spoofers that spoofed really early in the game that got all these different Pokemon, these regionals, got to keep them, and they got to keep their accounts for the most part as long as they stopped spoofing before the spoof detection / hack detection or whatever you want to call it was caught. So at this point, there's people out there that have these things that don't deserve them because they cheated essentially and went through and are getting away with it. Now, I know a lot of people have some hard feelings about like using maps and using IV calculators and things like this, but you know, people justify things in different ways, and everything in its own, I guess you can consider cheating. And if you consider all these things cheating, then you're a better person than I am, because at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna say that I've never used a map before, and I obviously go through and I use my IV calculators. I have to do it manually, but I do it. So it's just seems like they haven't really gotten through balancing phase yet. You know, a lot of cheaters are still inside of the game, and obviously there's different ways that people still cheat, and it just kind of makes it so that they were rewarded, essentially. You know, the ban hammer struck and it didn't hit everyone, and that's kind of where I stand on it. It seems pretty unfair. So I'm hoping that the rest of the rollout events for the Pokemon Go Fest go without any problems, and I hope that the World event is not as big an issue as the event that they had today in Chicago, but, I mean, unfortunately that's the way it is. And I really would have liked to have seen different locations throughout the United States, maybe a couple of cities, like I said, in every state that had an event going on in it, because it seems unfair to everyone else that couldn't make it to Chicago. But again, I don't think that they really care. You know, for instance, inside of Japan, they're going to have a Japan-wide event that's going to be like flooded with Pikachu or something. But that's all over Japan. And even if it weren't all over Japan, even if it was just in one or two cities, even one city, most of Japan you can get to within several hours relatively easily. So it just seems very unfair for everyone else that's involved that can't be able to participate inside of these events. And having read through the email and reading all the information that they had for the event, again, it just seems like really confusing. So I'm hoping that they learn from this experience, and in future events they don't have it be as much of a clusterfuck as it is right now, because right now that's pretty much all it is. And if they could go through and make it just maybe a little more specific as to what you could do to contribute for events, that would probably be somewhat helpful, because I just saw a lot of confusion all over the internet. I looked at my local Facebook Pokemon Go group, I looked on their website, I tried looking at the Sylph Road stuff, the Reddits. There wasn't enough information at the time that they wrote everything for everyone to be prepared and know exactly what it meant. So maybe get the information out there a little bit easier, maybe go through and, I mean, I don't know, make it a little bit more obvious what's happening. You know, don't make it so mysterious. I mean, the mystery adds an extra level of fun and excitement, but at the same time it makes it so confusing to some people that it just isn't worth it, you know? You don't want people to look at it and not try because it's too confusing. So I feel like a lot of people were probably let down by not being able to participate today, and Niantic's probably going to remedy that by just giving everyone the World event that they said they would give if the quest was completed. That being said, I understand I ranted a really long time here. I still really do like the game, and I'm hoping that the world event's really cool. I'm going to be playing it tomorrow regardless of if it's fucked up. I'm going to try because I like the event stuff. I like the event Pikachu. I like everything. So the game's really fun. I'm a little surprised that they weren't prepared for this event, and I'm a little kind of like disappointed, as I said, but we'll see what comes tomorrow. Maybe it'll be amazing. So please let me know if you were at the Chicago event today. Let me know what your feelings were on it, if it kind of coincides with what I said here. Please let me know if you like the game or if you stopped playing just because it just seems like it's a waste at this time. But otherwise, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, again, let me know. If you heard about any other events that might be coming down the pipeline, let me know. I'm really interested in that. And thanks for watching. That was 10 minutes perfectly wasted.